Eryndale was a quiet town, nestled at the edge of the verdant woods, where life was simple, predictable, until tonight. A low rumble broke the stillness, subtle at first, like a distant growl. It grew louder, a tremor rolling beneath the earth. People froze mid-step, their gazes darting toward the forest. Then, with a deafening crack, the ground near the woods erupted. Dust and light shot into the air as the earth split open, revealing a massive chasm. The rift's edges pulsed with an otherworldly glow, casting long, eerie shadows across the town. A hum drifted from its depths, neither mechanical nor natural, an unsettling magnetic sound that beckoned anyone who heard it. At the cliffs above, Kalen Valroon observed. The seasoned ranger, hardened by countless adventures, clenched his jaw. "It's begun," he murmured. He turned back toward the town, knowing what would follow. In the square, chaos reigned. Some villagers frantically packed, while others were drawn toward the rift, curious or mesmerized. Among the crowd stood Myra Fellshade, her mechanical arm catching the rift's light as she grinned. "Looks like treasure to me," she said, loud enough for all to hear. "If no one else has the courage, I'll claim it myself." A chuckle came from the edge of the crowd. Ezren Caldoran stepped forward, his robes tattered, his staff old but potent. "Treasure?" he scoffed. "That's not treasure, it's a summoning, and you'll regret answering it." Myra rolled her eyes but didn't respond. Her gaze shifted as a new presence approached. Theric Bronzemaul, the towering warrior, pushed through the gathering, his battle-scarred axe slung over his back. He surveyed the scene with a grim expression. "Enough talk," Theric rumbled. "If it's dangerous, it needs handling. I'm going in." Kalen arrived just as Theric spoke, his presence unnoticed at first. Myra spotted him and stepped forward, her tone shifting. "Kalen, you coming? You've dealt with worse. We could use you." Kalen hesitated, the glow of the rift reflected in his sharp eyes. Finally, he nodded. "Let's move." The group approached the rift's edge, where a spiral stone staircase wound into the glowing depths. The hum intensified, resonating in their chests as they descended. The deeper they went, the stranger it became. Whispers flitted around them, faint and unintelligible, brushing their ears like cold breath. The first trial came swiftly. Vines erupted from the walls, their thorny tendrils wrapping around the group. Myra cursed as her mechanical arms sparked, struggling to break free. "Stop fighting!" Kalen shouted. "They're feeding on your movement!" He scanned the walls, spotting a glowing core within the vines. With a swift arrow, he severed it. The vines shriveled, releasing the group. "Nice shot," Myra muttered, rubbing her arm. As they pressed on, ancient carvings appeared along the walls. Figures worshipping glowing crystals stared back at them. Ezren paused, his fingers tracing the symbols. "Veil cores," he murmured. "They're real. And this speaks of the Veil Heart." Theric frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" Ezren didn't answer, his expression darkening. The staircase ended in a vast circular chamber. Black stone walls reflected their images, but the reflections weren't quite right. Their counterparts emerged from the walls, shadowy versions of themselves with glowing eyes and menacing grins. Kalen raised his bow, but his shadow spoke, its voice cold and cutting. "You let them die." His hand trembled. Myra's doppelganger sneered. "Some hero. Couldn't even save him." Ezren's shadow stepped closer, whispering, "You betrayed them, didn't you?" Theric's reflection said nothing, only stared at him, unblinking. They attacked, but every blow only strengthened the shadows. Kalen's voice rang out. "We can't fight them alone. Together. Now!" The group shifted tactics, working in unison. As they struck each other's shadows, the dark figures dissolved into mist. The ground shook violently. The hum became a deafening roar as walls shifted, passages collapsed, and new paths opened. "Move!" Ezren shouted, casting a barrier to shield them from falling debris. Myra's mechanical arm caught Kalen as he stumbled, pulling him to safety. Theric smashed through a crumbling wall, creating an escape route. When the chaos subsided, they found themselves in a massive, glowing chamber. At its center hovered a pulsating crystal, its light washing over them. The Veil Core, A voice, deep and resonant, filled the space. You have come far, but the journey is just beginning. What will you sacrifice to pass? The light flared, bathing the room in brilliance as the voice spoke again. Your memories, or your lives? The hum grew louder, resonating in their bones. The screen fades to black,